first part of your club success plan, which you can get on Toastmasters International, is your program year and your club number. You can find your club number in the DCP report. If you had previous club success plans, copy and paste the values in here, unless they have dramatically changed. I don't think they've changed a lot. So if you've had it before, copy and paste it here, job done. All right. More importantly, member engagement is when we are starting to reach the DCPs, the club success plan goals and objectives. Have you created a moment of truth or conducted a moment of truth? If not, okay, maybe that's one of your objectives in the year. You don't have to do a moment of truth in order to do a club success plan, right? You can just say pending, move on, right? We spend so much time focusing on answering every single detail of these questions that we basically stop ourselves from finishing the report, right? Remember, the objective of the club success plan is to help you reach your DCP distinguished goals, right? So on a scale of 1 to 5, how beneficial is the moment of truth? Well, I really can't answer that question if I did not have a moment of truth. Do you have to fill it in? No, it's okay. You don't have to fill it in. You can. This is one of the critical things. This document is not a one and done. So when the club officers sign off on this document and then send it to the area director, and the area director sends it to me, the division director, it doesn't mean that you can never go back to this document and say that was it. And that's important. When area directors are looking at this club success plan, you will know which areas or which part of the club success plan needs more work, more support. It's okay. There's no grading on this club success plan. There's no rubric on this club success plan. This is a live document. It should be looked at every month or so. Maybe in your area council meetings, discuss how's your club success plan going? How's your goals doing? Things like that. It's a good discussion topic. So all of these are related to your club's moments of truth. If your club scored 2 or less, what factors are led to that club success or scoring? What strategies do you use? Let me talk something about strategies. Strategies should use what we call the SMART objectives or the SMART objectives, right? And if and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember SMART, right? Maybe I do. It's called specific, measured, assessment, something, and then I start going downhill, right? Okay. So basically, the key for this is very specific. I'm sorry to tell you, saying that you want to reach President Distinguished is not a specific goal, right? A specific goal is I want 3 of my members to be finishing a level 1 pathway, or I want to have an open house by November. What is it? Why is it called SMART? It's specific. Why is it called SMART? Because it's measurable. I can measure it. There's a metric behind it, right? So those are the things that are important. And bonus, if you want, or if you know what R&T is, tell me, but right now it's not in my head, right? But those are, for me, the most important things when it comes to strategy is specific and measurable. That's the problem people are going to feel stuck with. All your club executives are going to say, oh, well, yeah, I want to reach DCP by January 1st. That's not measurable. That's not specific. But wait a minute, you just told me, it's a date or time. No. How can I measure success of the objective? If I cannot measure the success of the objective, then it is not a SMART objective, right? For example, everybody tells me, how much weight do you want to lose? I don't know. Anything but above, anything up, right? But here's a SMART objective. I want to lose 2 pounds a week. I can measure that. Ooh, I got commented in the chat. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Thank you very much. Very, very good, right? But look, the more key part is the specific and measurable, all right? Yeah. Right? The ART is because, because we have the word ART in SMART, right? So, those are important things, Now, this is, again, the edge. Now, again, we base the club success plan off the Distinguished Club Program Success, which, by the way, of course, you can get on Toastmasters International, a very well detailed document on the club success, what is, what the DCPs are. But look at this here. In terms of educational goals, what goals are you going to have? Do you have to fill out 3 goals or 5 or 6? No. Don't stress yourselves out, man. Work on goals that, again, are smart. They're measurable. If you're a brand new club, do you really think it's realistic to have a level 4 or level 5 goal completion? Right? If you're a brand new club, you're a new sponsor, you just started, you think you're going to have a person who's going to get level 5? Maybe, but don't stress out. Stress out on saying, I want to have most of my members level 1 and level 2 for the year, right? That is, again, things that you want to look at. And when you write this down, you are helping your members, your club officers, become accountable, and not as just a volunteer job anymore, right? So you're helping members, you're helping yourself, area directors, you're being more accountable, because you'll know now to ask when you're making your calls and making your status updates. How's your club success plan going? What parts do you need help in, right? Instead of just shoot from the hip, trying to make it through every meeting every 2 weeks and call it a day and say we survived the year, right? So those are the things that you look in, and as far as the educational goals. Again, do not need to fill out every single one. You're not going to get a 5 in your rubric if you have all goals filled in, right? Stress to your members, area director, stress to your members that you are not being graded on this. We need to, we need at least something in there that is smart, specific, and measurable, right? Don't just say, want to reach DCP objectives, right? Now, how are you going to reach those goals? So the top portion is your long-term goal. The bottom portion is how to reach that long-term goal. Again, don't be stressed in filling this stuff out. But when it comes to strategies, make sure the strategy is smart and measurable. That's the key. A lot of people would go ahead and, do this and not look at it, right? This is the key here. So what obstacles keep members from completing the projects? What are ways to motivate? All of these things are really part of good discussions you can have with the club officers, right? Education engagement. How are we engaging? Do our members know pathways? Are they familiar with it? Do they know what to do when they finish a project? Do they know how to track the projects? All of these things are helpful. Do I need a speaker to come in to do that? Right? That's all part of the planning and strategy. When it comes to membership goals, this one is the biggest one. Do you know how many times our clubs met the educational goals where they couldn't get any DCP status because they don't meet their membership goals? Right? That's just the way it is. Okay? So how do we resolve this? It's very interesting. There's, again, many ways of doing it. But the focus is on, let's see how many members, like, for example, a good objective, how many guests can we convert in a quarter? We have guests all the time, but how many guests can we convert? Can we go for converting 2 members for each quarter? Well, if you do that, you can meet all your objectives, right? So it's all relative. Again, the key is how you go about putting these strategies and goals into the document. And remember, it's not a perfect document. How many times we've heard when we were coaching and mentoring speakers that they say, I want a perfect speech and I'm not ready to it until it's perfect. It's the same principle here, right? Work with your members, work with your, your area councils and so on to get a general idea. And it doesn't have to be complete sentences. We're not going to grade you on grammar and spelling and all of that stuff, right? Again, it's there to help you guide and provide you with perspectives. Now, this section goes into training goals. Which officers will attend training? Remember, we have, right now, we're in club officer training mode, right? Okay, so we have 2 rounds, one in June, August, and one in November and February. And, the club president and where, what names and, which officers will attend the training, so on and so forth, right? The only reason they have 2 is because if you have a 6 months program, if you have a 1 month, you only need to, 1 year, you just fill in the first one. That's it, right? So who is the club president? Who is the VP of Ed? Who's the VP of membership? And then check off. Did they finish round 1? Did they finish round 2? Remember, this is a working live document. This is the key to stress to your members. It's a working live document, right? Again, the same principle. Strategies and techniques to do this, right? Go to districts, meet districts, so on and so forth. When it comes to administration goals, you guys see the pattern? These are all related to your DCP, right? All of these things are related to DCP. So administration goals, membership dues. Who's going to be responsible for membership dues? Who's going to be responsible for inputting the officer list, right? How are you going to do that? What obstacles? Now, this is where it's key here. You'll notice when in strategies and techniques throughout all of this process, the first strategy and technique is what's stopping you from doing it. Write it down, right? What's stopping you from doing it? Why do we always have great excuses when things don't go right and we're in our debrief sessions, in our offices, in our meetings? When something doesn't happen, we have a debrief and we have amazing excuses and amazing reasons why it didn't happen. Well, why did they didn't show up in the beginning while we were working? Right? Why? Because we didn't have this. We didn't have a club success plan. We didn't have any accountability. Right? We're imaginative, we're geniuses when it comes to reasons why things didn't work when we're looking at it from a perspective of debriefing or whatever. But we don't think about this during the process or in the beginning. So always consider that when it comes to that. And that's it. The signatures. I love this part. Look at this. We got club president, VP of Ed, all of this stuff. Do we really going to have everybody say, sign this, sign that, sign this? Come on, man. That's not a report that I'm going to grade you on. The only thing I'm expecting is, listen, it would be nice to know who the heck is the club president. And when did they sign off on it? Right? Okay. Do you want, if this is in PDF and whatever, do you want to insert a signature? Do whatever you want. Right? But the whole point of the signature is to say, I acknowledge that I participated in the club success plan and I am being held accountable to the items that are in that. Right? That's all I need. Okay. So when we were talking to the club members, they were stressing out like crazy going to this club success plan. And in reality, it's not that bad. Okay. It's not that bad at all. It just takes effort. And not just effort, folks, smart effort. Don't be spinning your wheels. Don't be having anxiety attacks and saying, my God, I got to get this club success plan done. And if I don't get it right, my club is going to be failure. No, stop the needless anxiety that stops you from being successful. Okay. So with that in mind, that's really the main goals, is for you to write down clear objectives and strategies that will help you throughout the year. And if you do them, don't be surprised you meet your distinguished or president distinguished status, right? And don't be surprised that you have a lot of members, and don't be surprised your club is successful, right? It's because of the efforts that the club officers have put in. And there's one more thing that's important to always do also. Find a way to get your club members involved in this, right? They might not have a final say on the wording, but find a way to have the club members involved in this. Maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes in your new business section of your agenda, right? There's one thing I'm always going to say to directors or club officers. If you notice your club is having a hard time, the first question I'm going to ask is, how's your agenda look like? Okay. That's the first question you want to look at, right? How's the agenda looking? How does the agenda look like? Does it match? Especially, how's the agenda look like for corporate clubs? How does it look like for a public club, right? Because of the timing and things like that, and efforts like that. So the end is, go out there, look at the club success plan, write, and I would save a blank copy and give it out to all your club officers and say, this is what we're going to be talking about in this meeting, right? And then assign the VP of Ed, the VP of Ed stuff, assign the VP of membership, the VP of membership stuff, and assign the secretary stuff, the administrative stuff. And before you know it, everybody's going to have the ideas, and then just put them together in writing. That's it.